As someone who's been reporting on COVID-19 right from the start, I've been very much in observer mode. When you're reporting on a story, it creates a certain emotional distance. But this outbreak became much more personal recently after a cluster of infections emerged in Seoul's Itaewon district, my home of nearly 10 years. The concern extends well beyond the 5 Itaewon nightclubs and bars first highlighted as being possible locations of infection between May 1st and 2nd. With friends and colleagues getting worried because of where I live, I went to take a COVID-19 test for the first time. I went to my local hospital, Suncheonhyang, which was so quiet when I did a report in this area just a few weeks ago. Now it was busy all around the special tents and cabins set up outside for coronavirus testing. I arrived in the morning and was told to come back at lunchtime because so many were waiting, and when I did so, I started feeling a little apprehensive because others were also arriving with the same plan, trying to fill out forms and not keeping any distance. It was also hot outside and it got frustrating not knowing when the process would be finished. But we did all get in an orderly line, and finally I was called in about 4 hours after initially arriving in the morning. It turned out to be just an interview in the first cabin, assessing my risk factors, I presume. I had a touching moment there though, because a nurse covered in protective equipment said hi to me, saying she was my daughter's pediatric nurse. Suddenly I just had this overwhelming sense of gratitude for the job these staff were doing. Especially this nurse, working all day in uncomfortable clothes, far from her usual job of helping young kids with their vaccinations and other routine treatments. And then I was told to pay. Just 21,000 won based on the assessment of my risk factors, I believe, as the government is urging people who may have been exposed to get tested. That's less than $20 US, which would be refunded if I tested positive. It was all quick from there, and I was called into another room where 2 more staff in full protective gear greeted me for the test itself.
Test your nose and throat.
Okay, yes. Okay. So I just, I'm about to have the coronavirus test. Okay. Oh, that's interesting feeling.
Okay.
That certainly stings a bit, but it's not too bad. It's thank you. Am I okay? I'm not bleeding, am I?
Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Finish.
All done? No spitting?
Yes, finish.
Okay. Well, finish. Thank you very much. Thank you, both of you. And that was that. But I was told to be very cautious until the result came out, to isolate myself just in case. I had my car, so I could avoid public transport getting back home, and I didn't have a problem with just being extra careful. I also knew that if I went out and spread the virus after giving them all my details and being tested, it would be awful. I didn't have long to wait though. By the next morning, less than 24 hours later, I got the result. Negative. But more than that, I found a renewed admiration for all those on the front lines of this outbreak, and I want to say thank you.